Have you heard of this new jam? Ron Hardy's Acid track.
That's just a tape you wrote that on, right? Is that it? I would jump her, man. Let me see this tape.
Does that tape start with yellow? If you rewind that all the way back.
Man, hold on. I know she didn't get our tape. We've been looking for this for like 20 years.
I know he blended, I wanna be.
Whose handwriting is that? Is that your handwriting? Yeah, he did play that.
When the disco night is over, then we heard the bells of Acid track.
This tape too cheap to get. Because, you know, we did Maxell or TDK or something, so this is a little.
But I want to hear that.
What was the original name of Acid track?
Didn't have a name.
Yeah, then we were like, what is this? You know,
right.
You know, like, what do you call this?
Acid.
Actually, Spank and I thought they were talking about like battery acid or like some kind of grimy type, like rough thing, you know, like because acid burns. So I just thought, oh, okay, they're calling it acid because it's a rough sound. I've heard of acid rock. I heard of acid jazz. So, okay, acid house. It's just a rougher version of the original. That's what I thought it meant. I had no idea it meant some kind of drug topic. Oh, snap. That looked like mine. Give me my 303. That's where it is.
Could you reenact that breakthrough moment?
I don't think this speaker is big enough to do it. Okay, Spank, go ahead. How did it happen?
Okay, well, first of all, it will be myself, Pierre, Herb J, and a guy named Earl Ellis. We used to get together and we try to make music. Daryl was the keyboard player pretty much, and we just couldn't get the music right. So Pierre one night goes to his buddy house named Jasper. Jasper G, right?
Yeah, Jasper G.
Yeah, he goes to Jasper G's house and this is what he had. He had this machine and a drum machine. So, you know, Pierre got real excited. He called me and told me about it. You know, I need to see it and hear it for myself before I go out and buy it or whatever. So the next day, I don't think he remembered this, we goes to Jasper's house. And I was really excited because what we were trying to do, he was doing. The bass line was on beat with the drums every single time.
We didn't have, did we have a sequence?
We didn't have no sequence.
Oh, yeah, that's what we
Daryl
didn't have.
would try to play everything.
Right.
Daryl would try to play everything by
beat, and we had to record it.
Right.
And then if you mess up, we had to go back. Okay,
we had like 2-3 different tape decks.
Yeah.
Before, we purchased the 4-track recorder, that's how we record. So once I heard it, I was like, okay, we got to get that. And so the next day we had it.
The funny thing is that when Spanky had got this, he had made a beat, and it was him, her, Pierre, I got it. I got the 303. But this thing making like some weird, we got to figure out how to program this, making some weird sounds or whatever. Then so I was like doing my norm. I started twisting knobs. I'm like, okay. And so, after the first time, no one really said nothing, but I just kept doing it. Then Spank was like, I think I might have stopped. Spank said, keep doing it. I was like, okay. I kept twisting knobs, and then Spank started programming some more drums to the beat, getting excited and motivated. And next thing you know, we had a jam session for like 2 hours. And we were like, yo.
We created something, and when I heard it, I was like, this Ron Hardy will play this. He would definitely play this. So we immediately, like the next day, we go to the music box. The box didn't open until 12 midnight. So we probably got there about 10:30. So Pierre, myself, and her, we sitting out there in the cold, waiting for Ron Hardy to get there and say, hey, we got this hot new track. Did you listen to it? Possibly play it. And I remember, his first words that he said was, if I get to it, I might play it. And I got very discouraged. I didn't say anything to them, but I got very discouraged because I was thinking to myself, he's not gonna play it.
That is how he thought.
Right.
Like we didn't know what he was.
I was bummed out, but I love the box so much, I still wanted to stay.
Oh, no doubt. We were coming from the beginning. We were like, yo, we're gonna be here from the beginning to the end to see if he plays it. So he drops it the first time. People were like, whoa. Like, what is this? Like, They weren't hyped. They were like, he bugging out. You know, so people kind of didn't vibe to it. We were a little bit dejected. We're like, oh man, you know, we thought people were gonna like it. A little while later, comes in again. We're like, whoa, he playing it again. And this time, the second time he played it, people, you know, it wasn't like they loved it, but they weren't gonna stop dancing because they were having too much fun. They were just like, okay, like, oh, he's playing this track again, you know, let's just get through it, you know. We were hyped though, we were excited. He played it again, and then the dude played it a third time. I remember saying, he played it again, he played it again. And this time, people kind of were getting into it. It was like just as good as, you know, any normal track. And so we were really hyped though. We thought, wow, we did it.
We arrived.
And then next thing you know, he played it a fourth time. This time, people went nuts. They were like, this track again. People were saying, what is this track? So they started doing crazy stuff. They were like slam dancing. That's when like you bumping into each other and stuff. And then people were dancing on the floor. This one guy was dancing on his back, kicking his legs up. People didn't know what to do.
Right.
They didn't know how to move to it, you know, because bam, you know, it's like the acid sound is just like hitting nerve endings and making you jump and move. So it was just really crazy for us. And we left there, man, we was on cloud 9, man. It was so hyped.
And the crazy thing about it is that the confidence that it gave us. After that, you know, there was nothing we couldn't do as far as music, you know.
Yeah, we found our niche.
Right.
Because we were trying to make stuff like other people.
Yeah, that Steve Hurley track.
Yeah. And when we did this was us.
Right.
It wasn't emulating no one.
Sure wasn't.
You know, it was just like our sound. And
we
so
were the first.
After that, we felt like we knew what our sound was. And that's why we really kind of focus on acid. It made us know how to bring that energy even when we weren't making acid tracks and stuff like that. And which brings me to that cassette tape. You know, this guy had came up to me one day. He said, man, it's this big track Ron Hardy's playing called Ron Hardy's Acid Track. And you know, everybody always will come up with some new track Ron Hardy had. And we thought Ron made all the tracks back then. So I was like, I gotta hear it. I'm like, yeah, I gotta hear it. And so the guy, you know, he pops it in, and you're not gonna get anything clean. It's just gonna be like a whole mix, like of his night. So you're gonna hear the track mixing in from another track. So, you know, he's playing it, and I'm in the car with him, we're listening. And then I hear the track, and that sounds like our track coming in. Then when it came all the way in, I said, wait a minute. That's not Ron Hardy's track. And he said, what are you talking about? That's Ron Hardy's Acid Track. I said, that's not Ron Hardy's track. I said, they call that track Acid Track? He said, they call it Ron Hardy's Acid Track. I said, that's our track. We made that track. I was talking about us, Spanky and Herb and me. So he said, no, you didn't. I said, yes, I did. So I pulled out a cassette. Give me the cassette. Give me my cassette. I was like, bam, we made that track. So I popped it in, and it was like, damn, it was all clear, it was loud. He looked at me, he said, wow, you guys made that? He said, man, they're going crazy on that track. They calling it Ron Hardy's Acid Track. So I was like, yo, we just gonna take off the Ron Hardy, and we just gonna call it Acid Track. That's how it was done.
Right.
This is Cocaine speaking. I can make you do anything for me.
Acid on the A side, cocaine on the B side. How is it that two religious fellows like yourselves pick such druggy topics for your first release?
Cocaine on the view. It's really called Your Only Friend.
The streets call it cocaine.
Cocaine. In a way, we wanted to just put out a message to say, well, we're not exactly like trying to say, hey, we're making drug music. So that's why we did Your Only Friend. And it's really against drugs if you listen to the lyrics. So, but you know what? Everybody got the drugs out. Time it come on anyway. Because of Spank's voice. I'll make you cry for me. Yeah, like, yeah, the cocaine song.
Can you make acid without a TV 303?
Absolutely.
Well, I don't know. I beg to differ.
No, I made it with my Nora lead, my Juno.
That's not real acid. That's acid sounding. What made it acid was warping the sounds and the twisting of the knobs, and then recording that movement and putting it out, and then identifying that sound. Now that sound has an identity. Without an identity, something doesn't even exist. Acid wasn't just a 303, because if that's the case, everybody that had a 303 were making acid, and that's not true.
Well, I'm in agreement with that. You know, I felt that Pierre was the first one that actually turned the knobs while in real time while the music is playing. No one had did that before, and so that's why I said, Pierre, keep on doing that. That's something different. Nobody never did.
Because I'm like, okay, cool. He thinks it sounds good also, you know.
Right. So now, you know, like he said, now people going back, records that was made before us, they're trying to say that was acid when it really wasn't. Yeah, I personally think that I did. You know, I understand his point of view, you know.
Well, he's right though, because what happened is they're making other sounds to sound similar to the 303s, actually. So if the texture of the sound sounds similar enough, then it does feel like acid. I agree with that. But I don't think warping any sound makes it acid, because, I mean, that's just filtering then, you know. You can change the filters on any keyboard. I think it has to at least sound pretty much like it. But usually I could tell that it's not a 303.
Absolutely. Roland was the best at it.
Speaking of Roland, you developed the sound that defines acid by tweaking the knobs on a TB-303. How do you feel about the Roland TB-3? What do you like better, tweaking or fingering?
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I have to say tweaking. That's the funnest part about the 303 is twisting the knobs. Twisting the knobs, you know.
And thank Jack they tweaked those knobs to deliver probably one of the most distinctive sounds in electronic music, a sound that's been banging around the planet since 1987. From Chicago to the universe, this is Steel 5000, signing off for Loving the Alien.